Let's journey back, just for a moment, to March 2021. It feels like a lifetime ago, doesn't it? The world was gripped by that landmark Oprah Winfrey interview with Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. The fallout was immediate, explosive, and nowhere was it more dramatic than on the set of Good Morning Britain. We all remember it. The image is burned into our collective memory. Piers Morgan, his face a mask of indignation, declaring that he didn't believe a word Meghan said. The heated, deeply personal clash with his co-presenter Alex Beresford. And then, the moment that stopped breakfast television. Piers storming off the set, live on air, effectively ending his reign at the network. In the 3.5 years since, Piers hasn't exactly mellowed, has he? He's doubled down. He's built an entire new show, uncensored, often using the Sussexes as his favorite verbal punching bag. He has been, without question, their most vocal, most relentless, and most personal critic. Which is why what he said next is so utterly baffling. In a new interview, Piers Morgan, the same man who lost his job over this, the same man who sparked over 57,000 complaints to Ofcom, has just extended what looks, on the surface, like a shocking olive branch. He wants to interview them. Yes, you read that right. When asked if he would ever make up with Meghan, his response wasn't the fiery tirade we'd come to expect. Instead, he said, "I'd rather interview Meghan Markle. If she and Harry would like to sit down for a 2-hour interview on Uncensored, anytime they like." Just, wow. Can you even begin to process that? The man who has spent years insisting Meghan is a calculating liar now wants to give her a 2-hour primetime platform. It sounds like a U-turn of epic proportions. It sounds like, perhaps, he's seen the error of his ways. Maybe he's realized the feud has run its course and it's time to bury the hatchet. Or maybe not. Because, if you read past that one shocking headline, you realize this isn't an olive branch. It's a trap. It's the same old Piers, just with better bait. The friendship that never was. Let's be very clear. In the very same interview where he makes this offer, Piers spends the rest of the time doing exactly what he always does, attempting to discredit Meghan's character. The interviewer brought up his former friendship with the Duchess. Piers immediately went on the defense, downplaying it so aggressively it was almost comical. "I wasn't good friends with her," he insisted. "I met her once." He then proceeded to paint a picture that, let's be honest, is designed to make her look like the calculating one. He claims he followed some of the suits cast on social media, and she immediately messaged him. His telling of the story is dripping with disdain, claiming she wrote, "Oh my God, I'm such a big fan," which he now finds comical. He claims she said she was coming to London and asked to meet up. They went to his local pub. His assessment? "I thought she was perfectly nice." But here comes the Piers Morgan signature move. He doesn't just stop at "we met once, it was fine." He has to twist the knife. He claims that the second she met Prince Harry, she cut him, and anyone else she supposedly used, stone dead. So, let's just recap. In his mind, he was the established star, and she was the fawning fan who used him for a step up in London. This narrative, of course, paints her as a social climber from the very beginning. This doesn't sound like a man who has mellowed. This sounds like a man still nursing a very wounded ego, convinced he was used and discarded. The ambush is set. If you still thought his interview offer was genuine, Piers made sure to stamp out any hope of that. He didn't stop at just trying to rewrite their personal history. He launched right back into his greatest hits of Sussex bashing. He told the publication that Meghan simply saw an opportunity to garner great wealth. Then, he used a word that is so loaded, so aggressive, it tells you everything you need to know about his true intentions. He accused Meghan of wanting to wrestle Harry away from his family and the monarchy so they could live the life of renegade royals. Wrestle. That's not a word you use for a discussion. That's not a word you use for a mutual decision. It's a word of conflict, of violence, of a hostile takeover. He is, once again, painting her as a manipulative villain and Harry as a weak, helpless victim who was stolen away. That's exactly what she has done, he mused, which is very sad. And then, the final nail in the coffin of this olive branch. Lest you think this 2-hour interview would be a fair, balanced chat, Piers Morgan looked right at the interviewer and reiterated that he still doesn't believe a word she said on Oprah. So let's get this straight. He wants Meghan and Harry to sit down with him, so he can call them liars to their faces. He wants them to willingly walk into a 2-hour uncensored special, run by a man who has already declared them guilty, who believes their entire life story is a lie, and who thinks one of them is a renegade and the other is a hostage. This isn't an interview offer. It's an invitation to an execution. The real reason for the U-turn. This has nothing to do with peace. It has nothing to do with mellowing or U-turns. This is about one thing and one thing only: ratings. Piers Morgan is a showman. He is, love him or hate him, a master of media manipulation. He knows that the GMB walkout was the biggest moment of his career. He knows that his feud with Meghan and Harry is his defining brand. He also knows that an actual interview, Piers Morgan versus Meghan Markle, face-to-face, wouldn't just be the interview of the century. It would be the interview of all time. It would break the internet, shatter ratings records, and be talked about for decades. He's not trying to end the feud. He's trying to monetize it on the biggest possible stage. He's laying the bait. He knows, as we all do, that they will almost certainly never, ever say yes. Why would they? They have nothing to gain, and he has built a career on trying to destroy them. But by offering the interview, he gets to look magnanimous, just for a second. He gets to look like the bigger man, while simultaneously calling her a liar. It's a calculated, strategic move from a man who, with his new book Woke is Dead to promote, knows exactly how to get his name back in the headlines. It's a surprise U-turn in the same way a scorpion asking a frog for a ride across the river is a surprise. We all know how that story ends. The feud is far from over. Piers just tried to upgrade the weapons.